Welcome to the Geeks and Company, everyone. I'm your host, JS. Welcome to the first ever Geeks of the Roundtable podcast, brought to you by Cosplay Alliance. By the end of this episode, I want to have a pretty simple question answered. Is the Phase 4 of the MCU a bust, success, or maybe more likely somewhere in the middle? Now, some of you are going to say, well, hang on, hold on, JS. Phase 4 has just started, and you'd be right. So far, we've only gotten WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, and 2 episodes of, what's it called? What If? I don't know if you guys have checked out the episodes of What If so far, but I personally, I'm a little bit impressed, actually, for a cartoon.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're geeks. We're going to talk about it. So before we get started, how about we introduce the geeks today? First of all, Canadian cosplayer, Messiah Complex Cosplay. Jeff, what's going on, man?
Not much. From the Great White North up here in Canada. It's hot as balls right now, though. So, just outside of Toronto, and it's muggy and it's humid and it's terrible and I hate it. But it's better than snow and winter, which we get the other 9 months of the year. So, what am I going to say?
Yeah, exactly. We're going through a little bit of a hot wave right now, but
wee bit.
It's better than the snow, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Second, another regular geek with us today, Joey Redhood.22. What's going on, Joey?
Oh, doing good. We're also melting down here in Virginia, so hitting that 100 degrees with the heat index, so just trying not to melt.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was saying just before we started recording, if you have not checked out Joey's new Red Hood cosplay on Instagram, you got to go check that out. That just blew my freaking mind. Joey, wicked job on that. Now, we have a special guest with us today. Neon Raijin is supposed to join us. Another of our regular podcasters. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it today. But very, very special guest. Although I haven't actually introduced anybody, this guy doesn't need any introduction. Fred Wolf Cosplay, what's going on, Fred?
Hi, I'm doing good. What can I say? It's 4 a.m. here. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. And I can't complain about the temperature here. It's actually good. We are around like 20 degrees, something like that. It's all fine.
Well, hey, listen, thanks for joining us, man. I know it's stupid early over there right now, but really, really appreciate it. So why don't we get started? So first of all, where are you guys in Phase 4? Have you guys even started watching anything from Phase 4? Have you watched everything? Have you not watched everything? Where are you guys at? Who wants to start?
Wow.
Fred, how about you start?
Okay. Oh, I've seen all of it. Like, I'm a huge MCU fan and also DCU fan. But yeah, I've seen everything. All of it.
Everybody else?
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm up through everything except this last What If with basically the Star-Lord What If. But I had everything up until that point, so I still got to catch the latest episode.
Yeah, I haven't caught either of the What Ifs, and I finished watching Black Widow about an hour ago.
Wow.
I'm sure that I was caught up. I had it ready to go for the longest time, and I just never got around to it. I'm on a weird shift at work, and sleep is a nightmare right now. So, but I finally watched it tonight. I'm just fresh off of it, so that one's definitely fresh in my mind. Yeah, I haven't checked out either of the What Ifs, but I'm fully up to speed on everything else. So
Yeah, same here. I watched everything. I actually watched Black Widow last night as well.
Yep.
I haven't seen the last episode of What If either. The Black Panther Star-Lord, the T'Challa Star-Lord episode. I haven't seen that one yet. But why don't we start with Black Widow? I mean, it's fresh in my mind. I just watched it yesterday. When it came out, there was, for some reason, a lot of negative comments online, a lot of negative feedback. There was a lot of brouhaha going on about the movie. I watched it last night, and I got to say, I mean, as far as an action movie goes, holy cow, that thing was ridiculous. The action in this movie was, I mean, like anything else that Marvel has done, just completely top-notch. What are your guys' thoughts about Black Widow?
I think I had an amazing intro. I thought that really set a different tone, but I don't think that specific tone kind of maintained. It kind of became your normal Marvel movie, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I thought the action was good. I think what happened is with a movie like that, it gets pushed back so much that you start fan theorying things and you start setting your own expectations. And then if you're a big fan of I don't know if we're talking spoilers at this point, but like if you're a big fan of a specific character and that character is completely flipped on their head, then I think that kind of upsets the fan base. But if you look at it as its core, it kind of reminds me of Snake Eyes. I don't know if y'all have seen Snake Eyes. Like if you watch the G.I. Joe Origin Snake Eyes movie, it's just an action movie. It's really good, but if you're a big fan of Snake Eyes, you might come away a little disappointed. But overall, I thought the action was good. It's your standard Marvel fare, but I think some of the disappointment comes from some character choices.
Jeff, what about you?
Oh man, I knew
You
this
just
was gonna
finished it a couple hours ago.
Here's the
so-
problem, right? So I don't know how old you are, JS, but I'm willing to bet I'm the oldest guy in the room, and I'm probably going to continue to be the oldest.
Eh.
48. You?
Oh, you know what? You are the oldest guy in the room.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to be the crotchety old guy that has the. Yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. It's right up there with Thor: The Dark World for my least favorite of the MCU films. I thought the plotting was ridiculous. I thought some of the pieces were ridiculous. I didn't feel like there was a lot of character pieces or character developments other than Florence Pugh. Yelena was absolutely fantastic throughout the whole film. And it was nice to see Rachel Weisz again coming back and role. And David Harbour is always David Harbour. I mean, he's just great in everything. And I even liked, and I saw a ton of hate for Taskmaster, but I thought the implementation of Taskmaster was fantastic. The core origin was, of course, nothing to do with, but how that character came to be and what they did with that. But the overall plot, like if you had to sit somebody down and tell somebody what the plot of Black Widow is, could you reasonably do that in a short? I don't know. It just seemed kind of silly, kind of pointless. Didn't really have like what place does it hold? It's a prequel. She's dead. That sucks. We move on. Maybe we have a new Black Widow now. I don't know. Did we need a 2 hour and 20-minute movie to introduce a new Black Widow? I don't know. I don't think so, but I have a funny feeling I'm going to be the grumpy old man of this podcast, and it kind of sucks. But I guess that's the role. That's the role I'm going to play. So.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I mean, I kind of agree with the whole fact that you're bringing in a character that's been dead now for what, 2 years?
Yeah.
3 years?
Yeah.
And you're telling a story that happens between two other movies that were from 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Black Widow really should have been released between Infinity War and.
I'd go further back. I think it should have came out around.
Right after Civil War, I would say.
100%. I saw an interesting
right after Civil War. Exactly.
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day, and it was something like Black Widow, the movie that should have been made in 2017, kind of thing. Like that's exactly what should have happened. And it didn't. And it's just, it's not just timing. I had a ton of issues with the plot and the writing and everything else, but yeah, it's just too late. It's just too late. And it's a shame. And now everything going on with Scarlett Johansson and Disney, and now apparently they've cut ties with her, so we are definitely never going to see her again. It's a shame. That was an amazing character that got introduced all the way back in Iron Man 2, and it just felt like, as a fitting end to that character, like, do you really feel like that's how that character should have gone out, their last appearance in the MCU? I don't know. I was hoping for more, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And how many car crashes did that woman get in that movie and then just walk away? Are you kidding me? And a helicopter crash? She should have survived that fall in Infinity War or Endgame. That never should have killed her. It was just, she should have just stood up and like, tis but a scratch. I was in 4 car wrecks last week and nothing. I just fell off this little mountain. I should be fine. Anyway, sorry, I'm ranting. I'm good. You guys go ahead.
What about you, Fred? What'd you think?
I actually liked it, but not as much as the other movies, but I kind of enjoyed it, but I agree with the fact that this movie should have come out like in 2017 or something, like right after Civil War. It would have done better. And I also understand the outrage of the fans towards the plot twist regarding Taskmaster. We weren't expecting that. It doesn't bother me, personally, but I get it. They're core fans. I have a friend who's a big, huge fan of Taskmaster, and he was so disappointed. He was angry. He was ranting a lot after seeing the movie, and I understand. I can understand that.
Well, it wasn't the Taskmaster that people are used to seeing in the comics, right? I mean,
I think it's not necessarily. I don't think the gender swap was the issue. I think it's just like the core characteristics of Taskmaster, the implementation of the powers or lack thereof. Like, I think that's what really bothers people. I think if Taskmaster was, true to character, male or female, I don't think that would have really mattered. I think that's where a lot of the discontent comes from. But then again, it got delayed so much, which again creates that you fill the gaps, the fan theories, the Mephisto type crap that, if people just constantly think is going to happen, that doesn't happen, or, I think that was a big part of the Taskmaster piece.
So Joey, why do you think everybody kind of let the whole Mandarin thing in Iron Man 3 go, but took issue with
What are you
Taskmaster?
talking about?
I don't think they
Nobody
did.
let Mandarin go.
No.
Everybody's still pissed at the
No,
Mandarin.
is everybody still pissed about that? Because I know I was outraged, but it seemed everybody was like, no, it was good fun. It was fun. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it wasn't. That was terrible.
I agree, because but that's why they came out with that short. You remember when they said, like, the whole,
Yeah.
this isn't the real Mandarin. It's like, that was
Yeah,
their
yeah,
band-aid.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big deal. I remember seeing the theaters. That was one of my brother's worst things. Like, this is what you're doing to this character, like, really, this guy, this is like a big threat type character. And
Yeah.
so I think there was a lot of rage back then. I just think because the MCU has gotten so big since that point that there's just a lot of, soapbox to stand on to complain about it.
True. Yeah, no, good point.
True, and you have a point there that the MCU was nowhere near the size it is now when they filmed that movie. I think they figured, it's just going to be another throwaway villain of the week.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they didn't realize how much people would just get fired up about a simple fact like, oh yeah, he's not the real Mandarin. Well, what do you mean he's not the real Mandarin?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's work our
Well,
way
you
backwards.
guys have seen the reports though that he is. Sorry. Now I'm curious. So where are we on?
Go ahead. I know where you're going with this. Yeah, go ahead.
There are some confirmed reports that Ben Kingsley's character Travis Slattery is supposed to be in Shang-Chi, coming out soon. Yeah, I know. I read it today.
That's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
So how? I don't know. How is that going to work? Is it finally going to be addressed what the relationship is?
Well,
or?
it has to be, because my understanding is Shang-Chi's father is the Mandarin.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So
So
we're
he's gonna
actually
take
going to
issue
see
with
the
Trevor,
real
yeah.
Mandarin.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So maybe
so
it will
yes.
kind of try to come full circle.
Yeah, because in that one-off short, I mean, they more or less, I don't know if they kidnapped him, but they said he was going to have to pay for using the Mandarin's name or something along those lines.
Yeah.
He was involved in that whole short, which I'm surprised doesn't get more play leading up to all this.
So yeah, no, that's a good point because it's a good short too.
He was.
and like I was saying earlier, let's move our way backwards. The last show we got was Loki. I want to talk about Loki for a second because Loki's probably one of my favorite characters in the MCU, and I'm not gonna lie, I loved the show, but at the same time, I was very upset at how they ended the show.
Yeah.
They purposely went back in time to the first Avengers movie, where Loki is still a bad guy, picked him out of the timeline to bring him into this new show to find out at the end that he's not the villain of his own freaking show. Like,
Not even the star really of his own.
No, he's not even really the star of his show. He didn't kill the villain. He's not the villain. I get that there was a setup there and all that stuff, but again, it was one of those situations where I was really hoping for more for him. And as much as the show was great, it was a bit of a letdown for me as to how they handled the character at the end.
That, and I think he becomes Endgame Loki too fast.
Yeah, in no time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he is top form. I'm ready to destroy your world, Loki. And within like maybe a 2-week period, he is this emotionally aware character. He can go through anything.
Yep.
And he becomes, and that's how we know him. So we kind of accept that. But when you think about where he's picked out of and where he ends, I don't think that flowed real well. There wasn't a lot of reasoning behind just seeing his film at the end, seeing his life play out.
Yeah.
But that was a great. And me, I'm not a big fan of time travel in general, and all that crap drives me nuts. I think it's you start saying, well, why didn't TVA come here? Why did TVA not do this? Why was this? Blah blah blah. Kind of like the Eternals conversation. But I mean, overall, I felt it was enjoyable. But yeah, I definitely felt his character progression got pushed way too fast, and it didn't really make sense for the version that they pulled out. That variant wasn't. Like, I feel like he would have fought that tooth and nail for a while before becoming soft, for lack of a better word.
Damn right.
Well, he never lived through those experiences, right?
Right.
There's
Right.
7 years or 8 years or whatever it is of experiences that, where we saw him grow into the Loki in Endgame, right? The Loki that gets his neck snapped. But he never experienced those things, but yet he just turns into the good guy Loki in no time.
Like, Mobius only showed it to him for a couple of minutes on the screen thing, and that's all he got about the 7-year period after Avengers, first Avengers. So that was a bit crazy. I agree with Joey. Like you can't like change your ways in just a matter of a week like that. Going from a top villain who wants to conquer the world to being one who wants to save it. That's really crazy.
Yeah, and I think Hiddleston did great. I mean, I love him as Loki. Like it's kind of like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. You've got certain people that just own that role. Like to me, he is Loki, and the show is
Yes.
enjoyable overall. It's just, just there's little things that annoy me, like again, time travel, the branching stuff. I mean, I think it's a great idea. They're trying to get away from necessarily a complete continuity, and branching timelines allow for you to tell one-off stories without having it to be connected. But again, I think it's a lot of problems with time travel and things that did or didn't can't be undone. The TVA not getting involved, or I don't know. There's a lot of that to it that I think causes problems. But I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, I'll probably be the only one to tell you in this group I didn't like WandaVision very much, and like I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not the audience for that. Like I didn't really get into WandaVision a whole lot, but
Yeah, same.
But overall, Loki I thought was strong.
Yeah, and the acting was very good.
Yeah.
Like you say,
Yeah.
Tom Hiddleston is amazing as Loki. I forget her name now, but the actress playing Sylvie was very good at Sylvie. Even though I felt that she pulled, I mean, it was almost her show more than it was his show.
Yeah.
It was everybody's show but his show, unfortunately. He just
Fair
seemed to be
enough.
kind of floating his way through and
Yeah.
not really having an impact or on anything really. But yeah, Hiddleston, I mean, come on, man. Like that dude can act his way out of it. Like he's amazing, and he's such a forceful presence when he's on the screen. Like that dude's charisma, like that. I don't know if any D&D players here, like that dude rolled a 20 on his charisma, like crazy town. How charismatic that guy is, and how he just draws people into whatever he's doing. It just I felt bad for him, for the character. To Joey's point, having that progression happen way too quickly, but I mean, nothing he did mattered. Like he was just following guys around for the whole thing, and then he just happened to kind of be there at the end. But at least Loki had, because I'm with Joey too. I was not a big fan of WandaVision because it was 9 episodes just to have somebody get a new suit and a new name. Didn't really have a lot of impact overall. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I know we'll talk about it, had probably even less than that. But at least Loki had an impact. We've got time travel. We've got Kang coming in. We've got the divergent timelines, and now we're going to have the multiverse as well. And Doctor Strange is probably going to look at both him and Loki and Wanda and all them, going like, "You guys, why'd you screw all this up, man? Now I got to try to fix all this." And that leads us into Doctor Strange too. So at least Loki had an impact on the overall MCU, whereas I feel the previous 2 shows really didn't have a bigger impact on the universe as a whole. They were more very much character pieces for those particular characters, right?
I think Loki, the other thing I was looking for from Loki is that he'd have that moment. Like think about the old man Loki. Like he had the big,
he was amazing.
He had the moment, right? That moment was crazy. That's an amazing thing. And the actual Loki never had that.
No, he never did.
Or that amazing, like he's kind of come full circle. Is this more, there's memes now of him falling constantly or whatever the case is, but
Richard E. Grant, can we talk about how amazing?
Yeah.
Oh yes,
I'm legit goosebumps thinking about how good Richard E. Grant was. I mean, I've loved him in everything I've ever seen him in, but man, did he nail that! I
gotta say, personally, he was the best part of the movie, and his scene in the 5th episode is my all-time favorite from the whole series, and one of my best.
One where he builds the city.
Yeah. It has become one of my best scenes from the whole MCU, to be honest.
So fantastic. And Sylvie's like, how is he even doing that? And Hiddleston's like, we're more powerful than we know. And clearly Richard E. Grant's out there going, yeah, we are. And just putting that thing together. Ugh, amazing.
Like one of my favorite TikToks is him doing that scene. They got Holding Out for a Hero, Bonnie Tyler playing in the background.
Oh, perfect, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, Shrek 2 memories. It's good. Yep.
So I guess, and this could be a topic to quickly touch on. Like for me, the shows in general, since we're talking about Disney Plus, like I talked to my brother about this. I feel like they make it to where if you don't watch them, it doesn't impact the movie experience that much. But if you watch them, it's like reading a book. You get more backstory. So for instance, like Falcon Winter Soldier, the last time you see, the characters, he's Captain America, right? Sam Wilson is Captain America. He handed him the shield at the end of Endgame, right? So when you see him in his next movie, he's just going to have a suit. But if you watch the series, you get a little bit more, stuff. Same thing with WandaVision. We know she's a Scarlet Witch. She's just going to show up with these new, power, a little bit stronger powers, new suits. So I think they're trying to be smart about, if you don't watch the show, it's not going to kill your movie experience. But if you watch the show, you're going to have a little bit more backstory to it.
And I think they have to do it that way because not
Right.
everybody's going to be into the
Right.
shows. Not
That's
everybody
right.
is going to pay for Disney Plus.
Right.
A lot of people are casual viewers of the movies to begin with, so they're not necessarily going to be interested in going through how many ever shows are coming out in this phase. You know, there's like 6 or 7 different shows. A lot of people aren't going to bother with those. So, you know, they have to keep it light as far as changes to the, you know, what's going on within the main MCU, right?
And that's
Or
why I don't
within the
think Kang
movies,
is
I
going to
should
be
say.
such a big villain. I don't think he's going to be a Thanos type villain. I think he's going to be either a Disney Plus level villain for shows, or he's going to be the rumored movie villain in one movie. I don't see him playing out long term like a Thanos type thing. I don't know if MCU is doing that really, unless they go all in with, you know, the Fantastic Four and all that kind of stuff. I just the way they set it up, I don't know if he's going to be set up as that long term villain. And I'm already seeing the fan theories filling that stuff in, which sets up a disappointment if Kang is kind of a one off or maybe a series only type villain.
So he's already signed up. The actor is already signed up to play an Ant-Man and the Wasp too.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was
Ant-Man
gonna
3,
say.
But
Actually,
that could be his one shot. You know what I mean? Like that could be his
It
Mandarin.
could.
That could be his Ironmonger type. You know, like I just don't know if there's going to be a long multi-movie build to fighting Kang versus another big bad. Because when you think about the original phases and all that, the Infinity War saga, we didn't even hear his name until much later. You know, like we didn't get a seed planted early and see it play out. It was much later that we started seeing, you know, him come about.
But you have to remember that Kevin Feige announced 6 months ago, I think, that they're actually going to be making a new Fantastic Four movie in this phase of the MCU. So one of the last movies in Phase 4 is going to be Fantastic Four. So it's going to be hard to explain having Kang as, you know, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, not somehow tying him to the overall Phase 4 arc. I'm thinking now, like you say, will he be a 3-phase arc like Thanos was? Probably not. But I don't think he's just going to be that one-off villain of the day type villain. I don't think so. I think it's going to be more in the vein of Loki. I think we're going to see potentially multiple versions or multiple variants of Kang over the phase. And he's going to be one of those reoccurring villains that is going to come back. And I hope to God they're going to tap into his comedic sense, because that actor, I mean, he's amazing. Have you guys watched what's his other show? Lovecraft Country?
Not yet, but I'm planning to.
You got to watch it. I mean, he's amazing. He's yeah. I'm so happy they're bringing him into the MCU. That's the best casting they could have done.
No, I get it. You can't just have another like giant mwahaha menacing villain, because you just had that over the last 10 years of the build up to Thanos. But do you feel after you get someone like Thanos, who we now learn is not just a giant evil mad titan, but he's also like literally trying to do what he thinks is for the best. Like they through Infinity War and then into Endgame, they built so much depth into that character that you actually started to feel for Thanos a bit.
You know, like
got to throw Gamora off and everything else a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They added a level to him that none of the MCU villains had ever had before, save Loki, who they've kind of turned into a hero now. Anyways, do you feel that with Kang and that comedic type thing that they can make that as impactful without just having him be another, like, can he be funny and still be a threat level that is Thanos or beyond? I don't know how you balance those two out.
And I think, and I see Joey, you're going to say something, so I'm just going to say I think so, and I'll actually let you take this one.
No, I mean, I think your point about him being a Loki level villain to kind of bridge a gap, and you mentioned Fantastic Four. I just think there's 2 other villains in that universe that could potentially be your bigger bad they build to, and Kang can kind of be that. You know, he can be laced in and out. I've just seen a lot of posts and a lot of things about him being the bad, and I just don't see that happening. To your point about his comedic timing and some of those other things, I think he might tie things together and pop up here and there in different variants, but I just don't see him being the big bad. You know, like I can't see that sticking. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping for like a Doctor Doom type pairing as well. You know, getting him in there, but yeah, I mean that's who I think if you're gonna do a big bad, especially with Eternals and stuff. I mean that's kind of the level you got to get to.
I would think. He started cracking jokes in that final episode of Loki, and I'm like, This is the guy that we've been building to. This is the guy that's going to carry us through the whole next phase.
Well, that's
This
that
It's
variant.
not.
Oh, there's the more evil variant. There's the more.
Right. Yes. No. I essentially. Yeah. No. I get that. But like I said, but then you're in danger because if he's not funny in his next iteration, if he's just a world-conquering madman, then we just had that guy. He was purple. Right. He was amazing.
Yeah.
That's true.
So how do you not just repeat yourself again?
Well, this guy's blue.
Oh wow.
It's not purple. He's
You
blue.
print money. You print the money.
Yes. I can't. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to mute my mic. I'm not talking anymore.
The one thing I find about Kang and or the one that remains, as they call them, it felt like the whole show was to lead into introducing us to Kang, which they didn't. Right? They never actually introduced us to Kang because Kang the Conqueror, is a variant of this guy. So we had spent all this time working through a show. It was not Loki's show because he should have been the villain of his own show, like I said earlier. To introduce you to a villain that's not the villain that we're going to be getting. So, those are the issues I had with Loki. It was a great show.
We get a little glimpse of the actual Kang, the bad guy in the statue in the TVA, like the new TVA. So that's all we got for now. And then the mention of him from the one who died, actually. Personally, I wasn't expecting Kang to be the next big bad. I'm really curious to see what we do with him, but I was so expecting Galactus. Like, honestly, I wanted Galactus to be the next big bad guy because he's one who can like top Thanos. He's on a whole different level.
Agreed.
But
it definitely could still happen for sure. I mean, when you think about it, it took 3 phases of the MCU to get Thanos.
Right.
It could take 3 more phases, or at least 2 more phases. I mean, we may not get proper Galactus till next phase, till phase 5.
Maybe. I think they're gonna wait for Fantastic Four to introduce him somehow, or I don't know. I'm just curious to see what they do with Kang.
Have you guys watched the new trailer for Eternals that came out today?
Oh yes.
I did.
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, so when they show that Celestial up on the screen, that's all I could think. Like, if you're gonna have a little sneak of Galactus in there, like it's all right there, man. You've got it all set up to just sneak him in there. Yeah, I was geeking a little bit.
And I feel like that's their ticket to bring him in is the Eternals
like
and Celestials
or something like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the opportunity is definitely there.
Yeah. I have issues with the way that they're bringing in the Eternals after the fact. It's like, wait a second, so you weren't genetically modified? You mean you were aliens that came on a ship? And if you're here to protect people and you love the humans, like they say in the trailer, what the fuck were you when Thanos was snapping people away? Like, I don't understand.
I think they explained that in the last trailer, actually. They said that they weren't allowed to interfere unless the deviants were involved.
But now they are.
Yeah, somehow. Somehow, because bringing back, I'm taking this from the trailer itself, bringing back the 50% of people who are snapped out, really some sort of energy that set on something like I think it gathered enough energy to set down something. I forget the actual name of the thing, but is now bringing the Celestial back to Earth, like in the comics. So now they're gonna see if they're gonna destroy Earth or not, or something like that. And the Celestial, the Eternals are gonna prevent it. So now they want to act somehow.
Yeah, I really hope they don't screw this one up, because this is one of those ones where it could really change the direction of the MCU, like completely change the direction of the MCU. Forget about the whole multiverse thing. The Eternals is that one movie that I feel could completely break everything.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, like they're now cashing in the equity of the Infinity Saga, right? So you're introducing characters that are really kind of comic book guys know them, comic book girls will know them, but like the everyday person may not know them. So like they're really going, okay, trust us because we did this. This is going to be good, and they're putting a lot of like trust in the equity they built, with that phase. So I think it's great. I mean, I like seeing if the movie's good, I think it'll do well. I mean, I know people, the Guardians weren't like a big household name when that came out, and that's kind of become a thing. So, hopefully that, whether it's Eternals, things like Shang-Chi, all those movies, I think, I'm hoping those keep pushing forward to give us like the new Blade, all those kind of characters.
Well, I think it's important to realize, I think, Joe, you hit on a good point, is that equity that they put in. A lot of people probably don't remember that the Incredible Hulk made $270 million worldwide. Captain America, the first Avenger, made $370 million worldwide. The first four Thor made $450 million. All of those movies just barely broke even because it was a scale, right? We're building towards something. And I mean, there were a couple of dips along the way, but we built towards something that ends up being Infinity War and Endgame, the greatest cinematic universe and end cap to anything that's ever been before. But it's a scale. You can't stay up here. There's no way for you to maintain what you did with Infinity War and Endgame. You have to come back down again to do the build again. And people have to remember this dip is going to be Shang-Chi and it's going to be the Eternals. And they're going to build, like Joey said, that equity again to get you to fall in love with all these characters and then see them all start to interact again and then see them all team up against the big bad again. You have to build all that. You can't straight shoot to it because that's what DC tried to do. And I'm a DC guy. I love DC, but that's what they tried to do. And it didn't work because they didn't put in the time and build the equity and trust with the fan base. You have to do that. And this is the bell before the curve, right? We've got to go through this and let them build that equity and trust again. So that's a really good point, Joey.
I want to get a little bit to Black Widow. I know, Jeff, you mentioned, you weren't a big, was it Joey or Jeff? I can't remember who said they weren't a big fan.
That was the old guy.
The first three episodes of the show are sitcoms from different eras.
Oh, you said Black Widow. Sorry.
WandaVision.
Sorry, WandaVision. Did I say Black Widow? I meant WandaVision.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
It's fine.
Sorry, I wrote WandaVision, but I was reading Black Widow. You know what? Yes, WandaVision is what I was talking about. First three episodes, you're watching sitcoms from different time frames, not really knowing what's going on. I mean, it's not till episode 5, I think, that really the story starts to come about. And like you said, Jeff, what was the point of the WandaVision show? Was it to introduce us to the White Vision? Was it to just fill the gap and give us something to munch on? Like, was it just to give her a new suit? Like, what was the point of that show?
I think right now, if I read a relatively recent article correctly, Paul Bettany is no longer under contract with Marvel. So really? Even he said, I don't know what, for now, but he said, I don't know what the future of the Vision is. I'm no longer under contract. I'm not signed up to do any films or any appearances as the Vision. So I hope they don't waste that opportunity, because if that whole show really was just to give her a new suit and a new name, it's really going to piss me off even more than it already did. Yeah. So hopefully, because Paul Bettany is again another one of those guys where they're so fortunate they got him early and they signed him long term, because he is such an amazing actor, and you can tell what he put into that role. Who else is going to play that? You can't. His voice is iconic. His whole mannerisms are iconic. I would love to see him back, but yeah, I don't know, man. I'm hoping it's going to have an impact when Doctor Strange 2 gets here. She's going to be in that. She has reality warping powers now that we're fully cognizant of now. So maybe that's what all that is. Maybe that 9-episode arc is to show how truly powerful she is and can be, and can stand toe to toe with Doctor Strange and make her way through the multiverse and not just get chucked. I mean, she was soloing Thanos in Endgame. Yeah. Like, all by her lonesome, had him up in the air where he had to create a distraction because she was owning that dude. So
prior to getting the major powers.
Yeah, no, she's got the chops. So now we know that. Do we need 9 episodes to know that? Probably not, but now we know, and hopefully they can build on that in Doctor Strange 2, which is one that I'm really looking for. I love Sam Raimi. I love everything about his work. I mean, okay, maybe not Spider-Man 3, but everything else has been stellar. I'm really, really looking forward to that one for sure.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They did something that I've hated Marvel for doing for years, which was taking somebody's mantle and giving it to somebody else. The way I see it, there is one Captain America and it's Steve Rogers, like there is one Superman, it's Clark Kent. They at
I
one
get-
point gave the shield to Bucky and called Bucky Captain America. They gave the shield in the show to Sam, and by the end of the show, they're calling him Captain America.
He just signed a contract to be in Captain America 4, by the way.
I know, today
Yeah.
or yesterday.
Yeah.
Superherohype.com. Welcome back, Cap. But he's
Yeah.
not Cap, right? He's Sam. It's always going to be Sam Wilson. He's always going to be the Falcon, whether you give him the shield or not. What do you guys think about giving him the name Captain America? It's one thing to give him the the suit and the shield, but what do you think about Captain America? Is Captain America? That's his name. It's like I said, it's like calling somebody else Superman. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think it's a very comic book thing to do. I mean, it's very common. I mean, he's been Cap for a while in the books. It's not like it's been like a one story arc and then he was done. I think. I mean, with Rogers being out, I don't think there's an issue. I think that's actually the core part of his character is fighting for being recognized as Captain America. I mean, I don't have any problem with a mantle sharing. Like, I'm a big DC guy. Like, I would love a story arc where you got Dick Grayson pulling the mantle for a while over Bruce. I mean, I'm into that kind of stuff. So I'm totally on board with it. I'm cool with it. I mean, it's all about how you tell that story, bridge that gap. And I guess I'm in the minority. I don't think a lot of people liked that show as much, and I actually kind of like it. I kind of dug it. I like Bucky. Maybe it's kind of like a Loki Hiddleston thing. Like, I love him as Bucky, so I kind of really enjoyed the show for that. But as far as the mantle swap, I kind of like that in the movies because you see it in comics. You usually don't see it in movies where it's like a real handing off transition thing. I'm not as big fan of what they did with the suit, like the neck portion. There's something that seems off there, like it's too bulky right here. But overall, I mean, I think it's going to work. I think that's a core part of his character is constantly fighting for the I am Cap now. Like, I am doing this, and I don't have superhero or super soldier serum and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm all about it.
Fred, what do you think?
It doesn't bother me that much because I'm a big fan of the comics, so I'm used to it. See Bucky being captain, seeing Sam being captain. I like the fact that we brought it to the MCU actually. And I think like it's more of a mental than being the person itself. Like, you have Captain America Steve Rogers, Captain America Sam Wilson. They are different. Like, it's the same name, of course, and I get it why you don't agree with that. It's the same name, but these are different characters. Different one mental for different characters across the whole story. So it doesn't really bother me. I kind of dig it actually.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm all for it, and I think it helps with because the MCU's been spanked early and often for a lack of diversity, and I think they were right to be spanked for that. And I think this helps, coming from a cis white male in Canada. What the hell do I know? But I mean, I think it helps bridge that diversity gap that's there now. And of course, we lost Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, and that's a huge blow, not just to the MCU but the entire fan base. And so now we get someone like Anthony Mackie, who's got the chops, who's funny as hell. He can come in there and take that role and help to bridge the gap and have more diversity. I'm all for it. I think it's important. I'm glad that this is the route they're going. They could have easily put Bucky is a super soldier. He's got this badass metal arm. They could have easily just put it on that dude and just had that guy in there, and he would have looked just like everybody else. I'm glad they put it on Sam, and I think they should leave it on Sam for sure.
And I think, as a follow-up point, I think that's why the U.S. agent story portion works so well, because it wasn't just the mantle, the title. Like, he was called Captain America and wasn't Captain America. Clearly, he didn't have the values, he didn't have the mindset, the methods, whatever it was. And I think that was done on purpose to show the contrast of, like, we're not just going to throw this on somebody, whoever it might be, and then he more or less earned the title based on carrying on Steve's values and so on.
Hell yeah.
I want to quickly go back to what you were just saying, Jeff. Black Panther 2. That's coming out this phase. What do you guys think they're going to do? What are they doing? I mean, I've seen rumors. I mean, who knows? But what do you guys think they're going to be doing with Black Panther 2? Are they going to replace Chadwick Boseman? Are they going to pass the mantle on to his sister?
Well, I know that, I think they said specifically they're not going to recast, which they should not, obviously. I mean, he didn't just quit or whatever. I mean, we lost him. So you don't recast the role. Other than that, I got no idea. Joey, Fred, what do you guys think?
I've read somewhere that they're doing a big funeral scene somehow. So I think they're just going to address his death, find a way to do it without showing him. and maybe give a mantle to his sister, actually, Shuri. Like in the comics, she becomes Black Panther at some point. So I guess that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to see like a battle for the cowl type thing, you know, where you've got
Mm.
a couple people kind of vying for that, and kind of like maybe they both a couple people rock it, and then by the end Shuri has it or whoever. Like I think that's kind of a fun dynamic to kind of have that kind of, you know, who wants it and who can kind of handle that type of thing.
I mean, if they're actually killing off the character, the T'Challa character, and they're crowning a new king or queen, they're gonna have another fight. They're gonna have a battle to, you know, they have to. That's the tradition. So, I think Joey, you hit it on the head. I think we're gonna see another fight, another, battle for the cowl, and see who comes out on top of that one.
I mean,
Sorry, I'm not sure like they're gonna do the whole battle thing, because we've seen in the first Black Panther that all the tribes were agreeing with T'Challa being Black Panther, and how it played off afterwards during Infinity War, Endgame, and everything, the whole fight and how they all bonded. I think it's just gonna be passed down to Shuri. Like I don't see any other tribes trying to overthrow T'Challa's family to try to take the crown from him, from his family. So yeah, I personally think they're gonna just give it to Shuri. And I think we've all heard that Namor is gonna be introduced to that movie. So I think that's gonna be the main focus. Like, I don't think they're gonna spend a lot of time. I mean, that's my personal thought. I don't think it's gonna spend a lot of time with the crowning thing.
Yeah, it's a good point too, Fred makes, because I think that was kind of not beat to death, but I mean, there was 2 fights in the first film for the crown, right? I mean, between
Yeah.
him and Killmonger. So I could see them, Angela Bassett, amazing, will just come in and be like, nope, it's Shuri, and then they've got a whole new set of problems that they've got to address. So yeah, that could definitely be the way it goes for sure.
the one fan theory I always liked was with these branching timelines, like this variant Killmonger coming in and kind of being that guy, Michael B. Jordan, kind of having that come through. But I still think Shuri is going to be the one. But I always thought that was a fun idea that a variant Killmonger comes back and kind of takes that role, and and that would be fun.
That would be cool.
I mean, what's stopping Marvel from doing that with all their movies this phase?
Yeah,
throwing everything for a loop this phase, right?
Well, it's not even
There's
that.
all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Endgame with Gamora.
Yeah,
because Gamora's not a variant. Gamora is just someone that came forward in time.
Yeah,
like we could have.
Well, that technically makes her a variant.
I mean, I guess, but like we could go back the day before Natasha dies and grab that Natasha, and now we've got Natasha again. We can go back the day before Tony Stark dies and grab that Tony Stark. So no one is really dead, but no one talks about just grabbing these people out of the timeline and plunking them into the current timeline, even if they would be enormously helpful. Now I mean, logistically, Robert Downey Jr. is done with the role, so we're not going to do that. And you're not going to recast Iron Man because there'd be riots in the streets. But do you know what I mean? Like it's difficult now because no one ever really needs to truly be dead now that you've got Gamora there. And I understand you don't want to lose her, and I understand that scene in Infinity War is another one of those scenes where it really helps us to identify with Thanos and see that he's not just some muhaha popcorn villain. He's a real dude with real issues. But it's just, for me, it just screws everything up because now she's just there now, and she's going to be in the next Guardians because we love Zoe Saldana. She's clearly under a contract. She needs to be in the movie, but we needed to kill her, but we still need her for the next movie. So what are we going to do? We'll just pluck her out of the time and put her in here. Oh, well, now we can just do it anyway, can't we?
And she died like Black Widow, so it's not like, I mean, it's the exact
scenario. The same way. Exactly the same way. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, are we going to get ScarJo back? Not now, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just so silly. That's the way they went about keeping her in the franchise and killing her at the same time. Yeah, man, I don't know. Time travel, man, messes with you.
What's everybody's most anticipated movie of Phase 4?
Ooh.
And what all are the films? Do you have a? So
yeah, we've got Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, The Marvels, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Fantastic Four, and Blade.
Blade's going to be a movie? I thought it was going to be a TV show.
Well, it's listed as a movie here. Now, who knows?
Yeah, they first announced it as a movie, but then recently I've heard rumors about like turning it into a TV show as well. So I don't know what they're gonna do with it really.
I mean, I would think that'd be hard considering the amount of TV shows they got going on right now. In this phase, we've got WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, I Am Groot, which I believe is supposed to be a cartoon. And then there's the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday TV special in the
Yeah.
like they did with the old Star Wars holiday TV special. Well, they're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. So there's a lot of TV shows this phase specifically.
Movie-wise, I'm really waiting for the next Doctor Strange. I want to see the multiverse. I want to see different versions of all the characters we know. And somehow, crossing fingers, I want to see the Ultimate Avengers on the big screen. So I'm really hyped for that. And when it comes to the shows, I'm really eager to see Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Big fan of Moon Knight here.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I'm hoping to see a Spider-Man without how he reacts without Iron Man, kind of doing his thing, but it still feels like from what I've looked into, he's still going to have somebody there that he's answering to, whether it's Doctor Strange. I don't know. I'm curious how much of the leaks and things that are out there, I don't know if you guys keep up with that stuff, like how much that's going to come to fruition, but I want to see him be on his own, but they keep putting this like mentor figure with him all the time. So I'm hoping there's a little bit more of independence there for him. But Spider-Man and his rogues gallery are always a favorite for me. My son, that's his favorite character, so it's always fun to kind of experience Spider-Man. And I like Holland as Spider-Man, so I'm just curious how they handle this next one without Tony Stark. As my cat walks through. And then Moon Knight, I think it's going to be interesting to get Moon Knight on the TV. That's my same pick for TV.
Yeah, probably Doctor Strange too. I'm kind of with Fred on that one. I want to see the multiverse because I'm a big DC guy, and of course they're sort of the pioneers of the multiverse. So I would really like to see Marvel's take on it and how they're going to do it. And as far as TV goes, yeah, I don't know, man. Like the TV is kind of it's been. I mean, Oscar Isaac's an amazing actor, and he's going to be Moon Knight, so it's hard not to pick that. But I don't know, man. I was a big geek for the Hulk back in my comic book collecting days back in the '90s, and so I am kind of geeking out a little bit for She-Hulk. And I was a massive Orphan Black fan, and that's Tatiana Maslany is the one that's starring in She-Hulk, and she was on Orphan Black. And if you ever get a chance, check out Orphan Black. It's an amazing TV show. So I think that's my pick as far as the TV goes. I'm going to say something a little controversial. I don't think they're going to be able to top the original Blade. That movie was way ahead of its time. You get your first person of color starring as a comic book superhero and rated R, and all in, what was it, like 99 or something like that? That movie was such a pioneer and such a gamble and such a risk, and it was so good. Yeah, man, that's going to be really hard for them to top.
98, actually, you were very close.
Yeah, it's such an amazing landmark movie that not enough people realize what that movie represents and what it did first amongst a lot of things. Deadpool, the first rated R superhero movie? No, that was Blade. First person of color starring as a super? No, that was Blade. It's a very good and very important movie. So I'll be curious to see what they do with it, and I love the actor that they've got cast as the new Blade, but that one's going to be tough, man.
Yeah, as much as the third Blade wasn't very good, the first Blade was, still one of my favorite.
Yeah, it holds up really well. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. Blade's going to be very hard to top. I'm also a big Hulk fan. When I was a kid, I used to watch the old Hulk TV show with Lou Ferrigno and wow, I'm having a brain cramp now. Bill Bixby. There's something about She-Hulk that I cannot wait to see. I'm hoping they do her right. Hoping they do her justice. Probably one of my most anticipated one of the shows. Moon Knight, really looking forward to it as well, but She-Hulk I think is going to be the one for me. As far as movies, as much as the Spider-Man movies haven't been my top movies in the MCU so far, the rumors of the 3 Spider-Men coming back, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield, all coming back to play Spider-Man. We're getting Michael Keaton back in the Flash, but we're getting these guys back in Spider-Man. Like we're getting all sorts of crazy stuff in both sides of the
Doc Ock, all
MCU
that,
and the
yeah.
DC right now. Man, that's the one for me that I can't wait to see how they handle the three together. I think that's going to be. I'm sorry for the expression. That's going to be the shit as far as I'm concerned.
I'm a big DC guy. This is a Marvel talk, but yeah, that Flashpoint movie. That's the one I'm.
Oh my god, dude! Oh my god! I can't even tell you. I'm so excited. Affleck and Keaton back. Man, and a Supergirl. Yeah, dude. That's getting chills thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be one to watch out for sure. Let's switch up gears for a second. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, because I wanted to talk about DC for a minute, and specifically Ben Affleck coming back, apparently for the last time as Batman. But if you guys were to give Phase 4 so far a rating, what would you give it? Let's say you're giving it a rating out of 10 so far. Obviously, like I said, we've only gotten a couple shows and one movie, but where does it fall within your realm of expectations, let's say?
It's kind of hard.
I'm liking that 6.5, 7 range. I'm just kind of meh. It's not bad. It's not great. It's like you said. You talked about the dip, right? Like we were here and we're kind of resetting things, rebuilding things. So it's not a knock on the content. It's just okay, now we're redoing the Play-Doh. We knocked the Legos all down and we're building them back up. So it's a slow burn again. And so I'm my score's a little low now because it's still early in the build.
Yeah,
I think I'm going with a 7 too.
Yeah, I think my number's a little lower than that, but I mean it's the reasoning is basically the same. Yeah, I'm probably in the 4 to 5 range, but that could be because I just watched Black Widow and I really didn't enjoy it. So that might be what it is. Like maybe if I've had a couple of days to digest it, it'll be back up to like a 6 or whatever. But yeah, right now it's a very, very weak 5. Yeah.
Sounds like I was right at the beginning. I was asking if Phase 4 was a bust, a success, or somewhere in the middle, and it sounds like we're right about smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
The DCEU. Like I was just saying earlier, it looks like we're getting Ben Affleck back for one more movie. I think Ben Affleck is personally one of my favorite Batman. I've seen every single iteration of Batman from Batman 66 all the way through to Ben Affleck now, or whoever's going to be Batman in the future. Hopefully, I'm going to be around for a while longer.
Robert
Pattinson.
Pattinson's coming up.
Well, Pattinson's the next one. My understanding is that's going to be a little bit of a separate
it's its own
right?
thing.
It's its own thing. The same way where Joker was its own thing.
Yep.
What are your guys' thought on Affleck specifically as Batman and him coming back? Is that something you want to keep seeing more of? I know I do.
As long as he's healthy doing it, because I know that was something he had talked about, how bad he mentally got down during Justice League and all that kind of stuff. Like he loved BVS and all that, but I like the kind of Dark Knight Returns kind of vibe that he brings off. I think he's really strong when he's allowed to be the character and build to that. I mean, character killing decisions aside, I think he portrays the character strong. I think he makes, we don't get to see him as Bruce Wayne a whole lot, that side of him, but he's an older, jaded version. We don't have the young, suave, party going version type thing. But I think he's great, honestly. I really enjoy it. It's just a matter of him being able to continue to do it. Does he want to do it? And I kind of like the one-off stuff that DC's doing now versus trying to keep everything connected, kind of using the multiverse as a way to tell multiple stories. And if you want to do a Flash movie where you bounce between them now and then, that's cool. You can keep telling Affleck stories, have Pattinson, but overall, I'm happy with Affleck.
You better get in here, Fred, because I'll talk all day on this one.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna be quick. I really like him. I prefer him in BVS rather than Justice League because I like this dark tone that he brings, and I wanted to see an origin movie for that with Robin and everything. We've teased it in BVS, so I really wanted to see that, and I hope that it's not the end of him. Like I hope that he's gonna come back and that we are gonna have an origin movie with Joker beating out Robin and maybe get a red hood and something. Just waiting for that.
I'm
There you
assuming
go.
Jeff,
Floor
you're
is
gonna
yours.
agree
Take
with
it.
us,
Oh
or you're
man,
not.
it's
Maybe one or the other, but
kind of like what Joey was saying earlier about Loki's character progression when we were talking about. Did you all see Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I actually really liked Affleck's portrayal in that film versus the original cut, and even through BVS. And I got what they were doing in BVS, and I love BVS. Don't get me wrong, especially the director's cut of it, where they had him be this. He's been doing it for 20 years. He's almost a broken man at that point. But then to have him it took Superman dying for him to rediscover his hope, and
Yeah.
not through the original cut, but through that Snyder cut when he's telling Alfred to have faith.
Yeah.
He's telling Alfred like crazy town. I loved watching him progress like that and grow as a character, and I would love to see that continue in whatever he's going to be doing as the Flash. I don't really want him to come in all guns blazing, bloody knuckles, and being that super dark guy he was in BVS. I want the Zack Snyder Justice League version of Affleck being Batman and Bruce Wayne in the film. I think that would be, for me, that would be if that's the last time we're gonna see him. I want to see that final iteration of the character that I think was probably the original intent all along to get him to that point. We just ran out of time, and the Snyderverse got and everything else, all the craziness that happened with the DCEU. This is, I think, where he was meant to be, and that's where I want to see him if I got to see him one last time. But fingers crossed that maybe now that he's in a much better place, he's clean, he's sober, he's back with J-Lo for whatever weird reason. Maybe he'll then go back to entertain the idea of doing his own Batman movie or do a limited series on HBO Max or whatever the case may be. I've heard rumors of him talking about a limited series on HBO Max. I think that'd be great. Give him 6 episodes like Loki. Let him just be Batman.
Give me Deathstroke.
I would
That would be crazy.
And the John Mangiella version of Deathstroke. Let those. A cat and mouse.
Oh yeah, please.
I'm all over that. So yeah, fingers crossed that that's what we can get for sure.
you heard it here, Warner Brothers. The Geeks want Affleck back as Batman.
Right, man. Damn right.
Hey, listen, guys. Thanks for doing this tonight. Really appreciate it, Fred. Thanks for. I know. Well, it's getting a little bit earlier now for you, or a little bit later, I should say, for you. Probably about 5 a.m, but appreciate you taking the time in the middle of the night to join us here.
Always a pleasure.
Jeff, Joey, guys, thank you. We will see you guys again next week. Well, hopefully, if you guys can all make it. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you click subscribe. This is a brand new channel. Hopefully, if you like the content, click subscribe. Make sure to get more of us talking about geek stuff. We're talking about movies this week. We could be talking about anything pop culture, geek culture related, you name it. Guys, before we go, we're all cosplayers here. For everybody that doesn't know, Jeff, what are you working on?
Working on a couple different things. So I got Boromir from Lord of the Rings is about 90% done. There's just a couple little key pieces left before I'm going to start wearing that guy out. I have the 3D printed pieces for the Mandalorian. I just got to get them all buffed up. But then I went and saw this movie called The Suicide Squad, and everybody was like, "You're going to do Peacemaker, right?" Like he's like the Captain America, but a douchebag. And I can't even tell you how many people said that I have to do it. So I've just commissioned a buddy of mine to 3D print the helmet for me. I'm going to buy the suit online and then I'm going to 3D print the gun. So yeah, Peacemaker is on the way and as douchey as I can possibly be. So
you going to be at Fan Expo?
Yes, I am. Yeah, all 3 days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. You coming out?
Joey?
Well, I kind of teased it on one TikTok, but I'm trying to finish up the actual Titans Red Hood look. So I get impatient, so I use some existing armor. I do have a more accurate chest coming for the show. And then I mentioned on that the interview, I do have my base suit for Snake Eyes coming in. It's not really based on any look, but I did get a base suit from Unmasked Studios and kind of putting together kind of a blend of the cartoon look with some armor type pieces. So I'm looking forward to putting that together. Some non-Red Hood stuff now and then.
Fred, what about you?
Oh, I've just finished revamping my old Constantine cosplay. So I was working on the gun. And right now, I'm going to revamp a lot of cosplays, actually, because there's a big event coming. And I'm in the organizing team. And they want me to like bring my cosplays and display them at the event. So I'm just revamping my old things. And then I'm going to get back at my original Viking. working on an original Viking design. A little bit inspired from the last Assassin's Creed, but not evil. It's not evil.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm still working on Cable, even though it's not actually with me.
Oh, I saw the gun yesterday. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
PFG almost done. Almost done. I'm
So bad.
90% to paint. Almost done sanding. Guys, if you don't have a 3D printer, you don't know the pains of sanding. My fingertips are friggin' ridiculous. I don't have fingerprints anymore right now. I'm almost done sanding and almost at paint, but that's really been what that cosplay's been kicking my ass. I've been working on this cosplay for over a year now. COVID, losing my job, really put me into a bad spot, and then finding another job then meant that I was crazy busy and I had no time to work on it, even though now I had the energy again. And it's just been a bit of a rock and roll, up and down roller coaster ride. So, it is what it is. Guys, thank you very much again. Anybody have a final word? Want to pitch where the people can find you? Fred, how about you start?
Sure. Just find me on Instagram at Fred with Cosplay. That's where I'm the most available. I got a Facebook page as well, same name, but mostly on Instagram. So just DM me on Instagram if you need me.
Awesome. Joey?
Joey Redhead 22, all platforms, mainly Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, that's where you find me. I'm on Vero also, but most active on Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome.
Yeah. Same,
Jeff?
Messiah Complex Cosplay across all social media forms. Also at messiahcomplexcosplay.com. It's just a placeholder there now, but there is going to be some content updating. But I do have the domain. And same with these guys. I'm most active on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, on Vero. But if you want to get a hold of me or you want to see my work, you're probably going to find it on Instagram.
Excellent. I'm JS at JSBelanger1701 on Instagram. Brand new Instagram page. The Geeks and Company, Geeks and Co. Guys, make sure you click like and subscribe. Share this video. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us till the end. And, we're going to see you guys next week.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Peace out.
You guys.
Yeah.